Shalom, shalom, brothers and sisters. This is Brother Yosef. I'm going to come back to you with another lesson today, this time speaking on Tobit's wisdom. Tobit's wisdom. All right, so if you're new to the channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button, click that bell button for the notifications so that you can be updated on these future wisdom lessons. All right. Those of you that's already subscribed to the channel, push that like button so that this can pop up in more places around YouTube. All right, so I want to speak to you today about Tobit's wisdom. Who is Tobit? All right, Tobit, for those of you that have this little red book right here, it's called the King James Apocrypha. All right, the King James Apocrypha. It was a part of the original 1611 King James Bible. All right, sometimes when people see this little red book, they think you about to get into some spooky type of mystical teaching. All right, but this was a part of the original King James Bible. If you don't have to take what I'm saying. Go back to the original King James Bible. You will see these 14 books were actually included in there. It was 80 books before it was deemed brought down to 66. All right, these 14 books were later called deemed as not being inspired. All right, 2 of these books within the Apocrypha are books that you hear me speak on quite frequently. One of them, which is my favorite book of all books ever written by mankind, is Ecclesiasticus. All right, better known as the Book of Sirach and Wisdom of Solomon. Of course, along with Proverbs and Ecclesiastes, those 4 books are what I call the Torah of wisdom. All right, so I want to share some wisdom from a different vantage point on today's lesson. All right, not coming from the 4 main wisdom books, but drawing some wisdom from the ancient elder Tobit. All right, Tobit was of the tribe of Naphtali of the children of Israel. In ancient times, they was carried away to Nineveh. All right, and I want to go through some wisdom that he shared with his son and some wisdom that he shared in general. All right, so let me go to Tobit chapter 1, verse 3. I, Tobit, have walked all the days of my life in the way of truth and justice, and did many alms deeds to my brethren and my nation, who came to me with Nineveh into the land of the Assyrians. So I want to go through some of these highlighted scriptures that I have, and so that you can extract the wisdom from them. All right, it might be very simplistic, but in the simplicity, there's a lot of profound things. All right, like my brother Ark Patwell says from time to time. So he said, I Tobit walked all the days of my life in truth and justice. All right, I did many alms deeds to my brethren. So some of you sometimes are wondering, who do I give to? Who do I help? Well, you seek to help out your brethren, those that are of your stock, those that are seeking to please the Most High. These are the individuals of whom you go try to reach out to and help. All right. He said, to my nation, all right, and who came with me. All right, so he was seeking to help those that were of his kind first. So that's the wisdom that we can take from that. Help those that are of your nation, help those that are of your kind, help those that are seeking to please the Most High. All right, verse number 7, though, here goes some more wisdom. All right, it says, when he went down, this is how he divided his money. He said, the first 10th part of all increase I gave to the sons of Aaron, who ministered at Jerusalem. So now we see the first part of his increase, which I put it in the book, The 12 Fundamental Laws of Wisdom. Of course, you see it within the pages of the Bible about the 10th part, about the 10th being given to the Levites. The 10th was given to Melchizedek. The number 10th, the 10th part is a good percentage of your income, your increase to give away. All right, so Tobit gave the 10th part of all his increase to the sons of Aaron, who ministered at Jerusalem. Another 10th part I sold away and went and spent it every year at Jerusalem. At Jerusalem was his brethren, his own kindred. He was putting money back into the community. That's a wisdom principle right there. When we get money, when we come across increase, we should be finding our own brothers and sisters and putting money back into their pockets. He went to Jerusalem to help support the businesses that were up there. So he gave to the priest, which represents the ministry. Another 10th part he put towards helping his brethren. All right, the third part, he said he gave to those that was as meat. All right, those that needed, those that were other people that was in need besides his people. All right, and he said, because I was left an orphan by my father. So these other individuals, he was helping, you know, that could have been strangers or people of the other nations. So he had a third that was given to the ministry, to the Levites, to his brethren. He had another tenth part of that he was given to go put back into Jerusalem, you know, put it back into, you know, the community. And this other tenth part he was given as other people had need. All right, so that's some wisdom right there as it pertains to giving. Give to the ministry first, or give to a work. We know we're not Levites. We don't have Levites among us today, at least to my reckoning. All right, so you still do not disregard the principle of giving. Give. All right, we see the 10th part is still in effect. So give of the 10th part. Give if you got some more money you could put into your community, support your own businesses that's within your area, people that you know that fear the Most High, that need a little boost, a little economic boost, help support them. All right. And the other 10th part you can give to others that are in need. That means that you're left with 70% to live off of. That's just one breakdown. Of course, I got some other ones that's going to be coming here soon about even how to pay off your debts. It's certain percentages that the scriptures prescribe that can help any individual if they have a strong belief in the Most High, to help them to be able to overcome any type of situation they're in. All right, number 16. He said, in the time of Nesmiller, I gave many alms to my brethren and bread to the hungry. So as you read through the story of Tobit, you're going to see constantly that he was giving alms. All right, Tobit was known for giving alms to his brother and to his people. That's a wise thing. As you read through the book of Tobit, you're going to see that alms put you in a place. It put you in a very favorable place with the Most High. All right, so I'm going to jump over to Tobit chapter 2 for those of you that have this. In Tobit chapter 2, verse 2, he said, when I saw abundance of meat, I said to my son, go and bring what poor man whatsoever thou find out of our brethren, who is mindful of the Most High, and lo tarry for thee. So as Tobit was about to sit down and eat him a real good meal, this was at the Feast of Pentecost. All right, as he was about to eat his meal, he said, it's not good enough for me to just eat. He told his son to go out there and find someone of his brethren who is mindful of the Most High. So that's going back to our giving. All right, when we go back to Ecclesiastes chapter 12, it tells you about, you know, give unto the righteous and help not a sinner. You know, some people say, they wonder sometimes, who should I give to? Well, you want to give, like according to the wisdom of Tobit, you want to give unto someone who is mindful of the ways of the Most High. All right, that should be your first option. Now, if you feel this spiritual revelation come up on you, feel led inside of you to help someone else that's in need, who may or may not be serving the Most High, I'll leave that up to you and the Most High. I'm just giving you the wisdom aspect of it. All right. Tobit chapter 4, here was something else, some more wisdom from the book of Tobit. He said, and Tobit said, now he's about to command his son to go on to Raguel to, you know, obtain these wages that were put in place for him. But on the way to Raguel, all right, Tobit did not know that he was about to actually meet his wife along the journey. All right, so Tobit chapter 4 and verse 6, it said, for if you deal truly, thy doing shall prosperously succeed to thee, and to all them that live justly. So I want to share that wisdom of Tobit with those of you that may take a look at this. If you deal truly, your deeds are going to prosper. All right, just deal righteously. You know, sometimes people cut corners. Sometimes people are filled with deceit, you know, all kind of trickeries just to be able to get by and make a few extra dollars. Well, if you deal truly, the Most High is going to allow your deeds to prosper. Number 7. Give alms of thy substance, and when you give your alms, let not your eye be envious, neither turn thy face away from any poor, and the face of the Most High shall not be turned away from thee. All right, so this is the law of sowing and reaping. Again, he said, if you do not turn your face away from the poor, then the face of the Most High will not be turned away from you. All right, the law of sowing and reaping. So help those poor. Of course, what poor do you help? You help those that are mindful of the Most High, those that are of your people, those that are serving the Most High in spirit and in truth. All right. Number 8, if you have abundance, give alms accordingly. If you have but a little, be not afraid to give of that according to that little. See, what some of us do is when we have a lot, we still might give a little bit. If we have a lot, you know, we still might sow sparingly. If we have a little, then a lot of us, sometimes we're not sowing it all, period. We're not giving unto no one because we don't know where our next meal is going to come from. We don't know where the next source of increase is going to come from. But he said, if you have abundance, give alms accordingly. The wisdom of Tobit said, if you have a lot, give a lot. Be a generous giver. Give a lot to those that are in need. He said, if you have but a little, do not be afraid to let go of that little that you have. All right? When we get down to the point of scarcity, we get down to having just a little bit, a nice amount of us, we are afraid to give. We are scared to let go of that little that we have. And according to the wisdom of Tobit, that's not a good thing because number 9, he said, for you layest up a good treasure for thyself against the day of thy necessity. So when you give unto others, all right, in their needs, you are storing up in your spiritual account because the Most High is watching. He's taking notes. He's watching among the sons of men and even his set apart messengers or his Malachim, his angels. They are watching this, and they're watching the deeds of man. So when you are helping others in need, you are storing up a good treasure for the day of your necessity. What did the Messiah say for those of you that believe in Yahusha or who the world calls Jesus? What did he say to the rich young ruler? Sell what you have, give to the poor, and you will have treasure in the kingdom of heaven. So when you give unto the poor, you start building up your spiritual account. You start storing up treasure by helping the poor. And in the days of your necessity, the Most High can reach into your treasure box and send help towards your way. All right. Some more wisdom that Tobit shares with his son. Beware of all whoredom, my son, and chiefly take a wife of the seed of thy fathers, and take not a strange woman to wife. What does it say in Proverbs chapter 2, Proverbs chapter 5, Proverbs chapter 6, Proverbs chapter 7? It warns us about the strange woman. Tobit is sharing the same wisdom with his son. Do not take a strange woman. That's some wisdom for those of you out there. Some of you out there, you believe that you can take any type of woman and you can convert her to the ways of the Most High. No, you want to seek wisdom first and then be wise because you want to seek a woman that has a heart after the Most High. Or she needs to be following the Most High before you enter into a marriage agreement or covenant with this person. Same thing for a woman. All right, do not be taking a man that's an immoral or a wicked man and try to, convert him yourself. All right, make sure that this person truly loves the Most High before you enter into a covenant, or that person is a strange woman or a wicked man. All right. Do not beware of our whoredom. We got to make sure that we're being aware of whoredom as well. It's a wise thing for us to keep our thing inside of our pants. Not to be giving ourselves away to individuals that are not our wives or for you women husbands. All right. He says, let's continue though. All right. I'm going to go down here to Tobit chapter 4 and verse number 13. Now therefore, my son, love the brethren, and despise not in thy heart thy brethren, the sons and daughters of thy people, and not taking a wife of them. For in pride is destruction and much trouble. All right, so Tobit tells his son, in pride is destruction. And we see that in Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 18. For pride, pride, we talked about pride goes before a fall and a haughty spirit before, pride goes before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. So Tobit is basically saying the same thing. He said that pride is destruction. We got to pay attention to this. This is a wise thing. This is an elder man conversing with his son. He's giving him wisdom. Pride is destruction. So any one of us that are walking around prideful, if we do not get our attitudes in check real fast, we are headed towards destruction. All right, let's continue though. So now we talked about verse 14, the very next verse. Let not the wages of any man which have wrought for thee tarry with thee, but give him it out of your hand. So this is another wise principle, which happens to be a law in the Torah. It says if someone does work for you or somebody is giving you some money pretty much, give them their money immediately. Give them their money back. What we like to do is we like to hold on to other people's money. If we can, we want to penny pinch. We want to give them back a little bit. If you have the amount, give it back to them. All right. That's another wisdom principle from Tobit. All right. He said, if you serve the Most High, he will also repay thee. Be circumspect, my son, in all things that thou doest, and be wise in all thy conversation. Tobit says, be wise in all thy conversation. That's something that we have to take heed to. Every single conversation that we engage in, every journey that we embark upon, we have to make sure that we are being wise with the words that come out of our mouth. And controlling our tongue can be one of the absolute hardest things that we can do in this flesh, because we always want to share our thoughts. We always want to give our opinions. We want to be the last person to make sure that our words are ringing in the ears of the other person whom we may be trying to correct or share some knowledge with. But we have to be wise in all of our conversation, because the time to be quiet is the time to speak. All right. And you got other situations. I got a video on here about, about the tongue and things of that nature. All right. Do that to no man which thou hatest. Drink not wine to make thee drunken. This is wisdom that he's given to his son as he sent him on his journey. Do not be drinking wine to become drunk. And unfortunately, in today's world, there are so many individuals that are drinking to become drunk. Talk about that in Ecclesiastes chapter 31, talks about wine measurably be drunken. All right, brings cheerfulness of heart, brings gladness, but drunkenness brings bitterness. So individuals are going past that line. And for those of you that have drunk wine any time in your life, whether you do it now, whether you quit, you know that there's a line that you come across. And if you pass that line by extra sip or extra cup, all right, you're going to cross over into drunkenness. You're going to start slurring your speech. You're going to start stumbling. Individuals are going to see that you're not in your sober state of mind. Tobit warns him to not become drunk. Let's continue. All right, Tobit chapter 4, and we're going to go to verse number 18. It said, ask counsel of all that are wise. You see why this is a wisdom lesson today? Ask counsel of all that are wise. If you see individuals that are within your circle or sphere of influence, individuals that you know to be wise, all right, the wisdom is telling you to ask them of their counsel. All right, ask counsel of all those that are wise. That's what it talks about in Proverbs chapter 13 and 20. He that walks with wise men shall be wise. All right, and a companion of fools shall be destroyed. So if you know individuals that are wise, that is one of the ways to obtain the valuable treasure of wisdom. And despise not any counsel that is profitable. All right, some of us, we get to the point to where we learn a few scriptures. All right, we learn a little bit of history, and we don't need nobody to tell us anything no more. All right, the scripture says, do not despise any counsel that is profitable. Profitable in your marriage, profitable in business endeavors, profitable in building relationships and communications, all right, in wealth, in the transference of income and resources and wealth and money. Don't get to the point where you feel like you know everything. Be wise in all your conversations and despise not any counsel. All right, it says, Baruch the Most High, bless the Most High always, and desire of him that thy ways may be directed, and that all thy paths and counsels may prosper. All right, so another wise saying that he gave to his son upon sending him on his journey was, he said, to make sure that you Baruch or bless the Most High always. We have to get to the point where we never go away from that counsel right there. Sometimes when the Most High takes some of us from lower states and he raises us up to do great and mighty things. And a nice portion of us throughout all, and this is not just now, going back to the days of Genesis and Bereshit, so many people, they despise the Most High and they start forgetting about him once they get to a higher level and what they think is a kingly estate. Baruch the Most High, bless the Most High, always desire of him that thy ways may be directed. That means that you're praying to him as you are blessing his name or baruching him. You're praying for direction, prayers of guidance, all right, and right actions. Pray to the Most High that he directs your paths. That's a good prayer to pray. And that your paths may be directed and that counsels may prosper. And going back to counsels again. So you're praying to the Most High every day as you acknowledge him for how mighty and how powerful he is. Then you're praying for guidance and direction, and then you're praying for him to send you to the right counsel. Because if he sends you to the right counsel, then he's going to speak through the person whom you will be listening to. All right. So now let's go down here. Let's go to the next chapter. All right, Tobit chapter 5. All right, in verse number 8. All right, now this is when now he's finally about to send his son away to go down there to Raguel and collect the money that was due to him, and he needed someone to go with his son. And then someone happened to be Azarias, aka Raphael. So Raphael, all right, which is known as the angel, all right, he comes to Tobit's house. Tobit inquires of him, all right, and Tobit, this is what he says in verse number 8. He said, then he said unto him, go and tarry. So he went in and said unto his father, behold, I found one which will go with me. This is his son Tobias speaking now. I found one that will go with me. Then he said, call him unto me, that I may know what tribe he is, and whether he be a trusty man to go with thee. So now Tobit is practicing discernment. Call him unto me. So now Tobit is the father. His son said he found someone that can go with him on the journey. And before he gives him the okay and the approval, he said, bring him unto me. So now Tobit is discerning this person's spirit. He said, bring him unto me that I may know that he's a trusty individual. How you going to know he's a trusty individual? By just seeing him for a few minutes. Because that spirit, that discernment, that spirit of discernment and experience is going to kick in, and he's going to be able to look at him. Because within the first few minutes of meeting individuals, you can tell if they are shady or if they are honest individual. Tobit said, bring him unto me. I'm asking you parents out there, as your children are about to go on journeys with individuals, your children are calling, they're texting, inquire of those individuals. Say, let them bring them unto me. And let me see what they're about. All right? The wisdom of Tobit. We almost done. We're about to go over here to Tobit chapter 7. All right? Now Tobit's son is finally about to get married. All right? So we're going to get some wisdom from Tobit's father-in-law now, Raguel. And so Tobit chapter 7 and verse 13 said, then he called his daughter Sarah, and she came to her father, and he took her by the hand and gave her to be wife to Tobias. Tobias is Tobit's son. All right. And saying, behold, take her after the law of Moses and lead her away to thy father. And he baruched or blessed them. And he called Edna his wife, and took paper and did write the instruments of covenants and sealed it. So this goes for them individuals out there that want to have these bootleg marriages. They don't want to have no piece of paper. They don't want no witnesses around. They don't want no one to sign or seal their document. Even if you don't go to the state. All right, we see it right here in the scripture. They took instruments of covenant. They sealed it. There was witnesses around. So the wisdom behind that is, don't let nobody, sucker you into doing a secret marriage. You could be putting your soul on the line. You could be putting your life in jeopardy in the sight of the Most High trying to do some secret covenant, and you could really be in sin. You could be in fornication. You could be in adultery and don't even know it. Because somebody don't want to stand before witnesses, or individuals just want to, use you as a lust object, have sex with you and kick you to the curb somewhere. Follow the wisdom. And even follow the same wisdom that the Most High gave to Israel. All right. He gave them the commandments in Exodus chapter 20. All right. He spoke the commandments to them first. All right. After he spoke the commandments to them, they went on their journey. Then they built a golden calf. So what did he do the next time? He wrote it down. All right, so yes, you could do a verbal covenant with somebody. Speak it first to them. Tell them how much you love them, how much you want to be with them. Y'all can exchange vows in person, but after y'all do that in person, have someone to be witnesses and write it down and seal it. All right, that's the wisdom of Tobit. All right, so now we're about to close this out. This is the wisdom of Raphael now, as he gets ready to depart or ascend back. He said, prayer is good with fasting and alms and righteousness. So this is a wise thing for us to be praying and fasting. It's a good combination with righteousness and giving alms. That's 4 things that will do us very good. Pray to the Most High, fast, like afflict our bodies. Every now and then we got to tell this food no. We got to say no to our flesh. We go out and give while we're fasting and praying. We give to the poor, those that are in need, like it says in the book of Tobit over and over again. And we need to be righteous as we're doing it, because we can do all these other things. We could be over here fasting, afflicting ourselves. We got individuals that don't even care about the Most High. They do fasting. They do what they call intermittent fasting. But they're not trying to keep His commandments or walk in wisdom. All right? Some people might be praying, but they might be praying to a statue. All right, so you could be praying, you could be fasting, you could be out here giving, doing alms, but it's best when you're doing it and you're being righteous as well. You're keeping the commandments of the Torah and the Torah of wisdom. All right, and he says prayers is good with fasting and alms and righteousness. A little with righteousness is better than much unrighteousness. It's better to give alms than to lay up gold. Let me say that one more time. It's better to give alms than to lay up gold. It tells us later on in the writings of the Messiah that to store down up our treasures where moth and rust and thieves may break through and steal. So it's better for you to give of the money and the resources that you have to help individuals that are hungry, to help individuals that are in need, to help individuals that are strangers, that are fatherless children. How many fatherless children we got right today? Your money would be more used, the Most High would be more pleased with you spending that money to help individuals that are in need than for you just to be trying to stack up and hoard a whole bunch of gold. So hopefully the wisdom of Tobit was good enough for you. I'm going to share a few things I want you to take into consideration, all right, as we get ready to close this out. So summarizing Tobit's wisdom. All right, this is some of the things that he said. All right, number 1, he talks about giving alms. All right, Tobit is an avid, preacher of giving alms. Give of your increase. All right, not just give to the poor when you get increase. All right, the wisdom behind that is that he gave 10% to the people that was fully committed to the work of the Most High. Then he put 10% back into his nation. All right, how many of us are putting 10% back into our nation? Spend with your nation, help others outside your nations once you help your own people. All right, help people that are mindful of the Most High. You have a choice of whom you can help, because some people, they may get up every day and you might be in a place of abundance, and you wake up every day and you're praying and you're saying, please show me who to help today. Please, and you're praying to the Almighty, you're saying, show me who can I help today. All right. If you do not have a clear answer, all right, the second answer may be coming from the wisdom books or from the wisdom of Tobit. Give to those that are mindful of the Most High. And you go there to Ecclesiastes chapter 12 as well, and you can see that in the book of Sirach. All right, give alms accordingly to what you have. All right, it says if you have a great amount, you give a large amount of that. If you have but little, do not be afraid to give of the little that you have, according to the wisdom of Tobit. It said pride is destruction. All right, we see that in Proverbs chapter 16 and 18. Pride is sin. I got a video on that in this page. If you want to go and check that out. Pride is sin. It don't say it's a sin in the first 5 books of Moses, but it do say it's a sin according to the Torah of wisdom. All right. Let no man's wages tarry with thee. That means if you owe somebody money, pay them up. All right. It says, be wise in all of your conversations. This is the wisdom of Tobit right here. We have to be wise in all of our conversations, on the telephone, in person, through emails. We got to be wise in all of our conversations. Drink not wine to make thee drunk. This is what he told his son. If you are going to drink wine, I'm not out here trying, I don't want nobody to feel like I'm trying to advocate it or push it out there. We do see in the Bible it is lawful, but things of that nature, but I still don't want to come across that I'm trying to persuade or push people to drink wine. But Tobit said, he told his son, drink wine not to get drunk. All right, there is a line that you can cross where you can go from being able to be, fully cognizant to crossing over to being what they call tipsy and having a super buzz, and you just out here slurred your speech and everything. All right, ask counsel of all that are wise. All right, if you're taking this lesson right here lightly, all right, if you just follow what I'm just sharing with you in this summary of the breakdown of the Tobit, of the wisdom of Tobit, it can do dramatical things. It can change things in your life drastically. All right, ask counsel of all those that are wise. Despise not any counsel that is profitable. If someone has something profitable to share with you, it will be in your best interest to at least take a look at it. You may not want to be a part of it. You may not agree with it. At least take a look at it, and so that you can at least know what they're trying to share with you. It says, praise the Most High. Barak the Most High said, in Tobit it said, bless the Most High. And then right here, desire that all your ways be directed and all your paths may prosper. So now it's time for you to ask the Most High to give you guidance, that give you direction on your journey. Another one. Discern individuals before allowing them to get too close to your children. That's what he had to do. Even a heavenly messenger was in his midst, but he still had to look at him and see what type of stock he was from. He had to still examine him and discern his spirit and see if he felt peace about letting him go with his son. How many of you are examining your sons and daughters' friends before you let them go out the house and play with them, or run down the street with them, or go to another, community with them, another neighborhood with them, another city with them? How many of you are doing due diligence for your children? All right, be not greedy concerning money. Have proof of your marriage. Write an instrument of covenant and seal it. All right. Do not let no one come by and tell you we're just going to keep this between us two and we're going to pray to the Most High. I don't see that. I don't see that backed by Scripture. All right. I see witnesses throughout the Scriptures and through the Bible. And those that have done that, you will operate in the spirit of error. All right. It'd be good for you to go and get at least 2 or 3 people together, 4 people together, and say some vows and get some commitments together and get someone to keep you accountable. Because that's putting a lot of our women in bad situations. Once the man gets done with them and tired of them, they kick them to the side. And there's so many women out there that's asking, can I be married again? And I'm not just speculating this. There are women that have asked me, they're wondering, can I get married again? I don't know what I can do. And that's because they was part of a bootleg marriage from the beginning. And finally, the wisdom from Raphael, the messenger. All right, pray and fast. All right, give alms and do it in righteousness. Pray, fast, give your alms to the poor, and do it in righteousness. So prayerfully, this story right here was a help to you, an inspiration to you, so that you could glean from the wisdom of Tobit. It was rich in wisdom, that book right there, those chapters. I pray that you could take this, share this video with other individuals of whom you know that this may benefit. And until the next time we meet each other again, I say, shalom, shalom.